guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm doing this video in honor of my son, who we lost, our precious Isaiah, in December of 2020. And this is in honor of his birthday, so I would like to share this with you guys. This is his 3rd birthday. Today I wanted to share with you guys my testimony. Now, if you guys know me, you guys know that I have so many testimonies, but I wanted to share with you guys my testimony on how God brought me through the absolute hardest thing that I've been through in my entire life. Before I do start this video, I do want to give out like a trigger warning. I am going to be talking about emergency C-section, passing out, losing my son. This is a trigger warning for those that are triggered by this kind of content. Alright guys, let's get into this video. November 25th of 2020, that's the night that I started feeling sick. Like I started feeling like I had a fever and I just wasn't feeling right. Moving on to November 28th is when I went to the hospital because I was just not feeling good at all. And you guys know COVID was really big during that time. And although I didn't know much about COVID, we had a lockdown. So, you know, the world was pretty much locked down. I went to the ER that day on the 28th and they confirmed that I had COVID. They didn't really give me any information or anything. They just said pregnancy is a risk for complications, and they sent me on my way and just told me to follow with my OB. So my next appointment was scheduled for December 3rd, my OB appointment. I had to do a telehealth appointment since I had COVID. That was just a basic appointment. She just said, how am I feeling? So those are the dates leading up to my story. So on December 5th, around 7 p.m. 2020, I was having contractions. I was 35 weeks and 2 days along with my pregnancy. Up until then, I had no complications with my pregnancy. Everything was good. Every visit was perfect. I had genetic scans done and, you know, all that good stuff. I had everything done and everything came back great. I was doing really good. And then out of nowhere on that day, December 5th, I started like just not feeling right. Like my stomach was starting to just cramp up. And I'm like, I told Aaron, I said, I think I might be going into labor. I think we need to go to the hospital. In my head, I'm like, I'm 35 weeks. I shouldn't be, you know, having contractions. But I said, you know what? I think I have to use the restroom. And I went to use the restroom. And Aaron was standing right there. It was like the restroom in our bedroom. So I just looked at him and I said, I really think I'm about to pass out. And he just looked at me and said, nuh-uh. And I, like in that instant, I passed out. And Aaron told me that I stopped breathing and I just fell. And he caught me, laid me on the floor. That's when they called 911. I was laying on the floor. I woke up to my sister trying to pick me up off the floor. Just severe stomach pain. Aaron had called 911, so we were waiting for them to get there, and I just felt like that time just felt like forever. At that point, with me on the floor waking up, I knew something was not right because I never passed out ever in my life. The ambulance arrived, didn't really help me at all. I crawled to they didn't bring the cot up the stairs, so I had to go outside my apartment, walk down the steps. But every time I stood up, I felt like I was going to pass out again. So I had to crawl. Guys, they watched me. I literally crawled. And mind you, my kids, Kalani was 2, Channing was like 3 or 4 at the time. I think Channing, at the time Channing was 4. They had to see me go through that. They watched me crawl on the floor. They were not understanding what was going on. I crawled, went to the cot outside, and I think that since they saw me walking down the steps fast, they assumed that I was just faking it. But when I tell you guys, in my mind, I'm like, you know what, I'm not really getting help, but the faster I get on the cot, the faster I will get to the hospital. So I just put it in my head and I just said, just go. And I went down the steps and I got on the cot, and I just feel like that's why they took their time. But when we got to the hospital, they didn't even know where to go. So we were in the front entrance, and then they had to go around, and someone had to take them up to labor and delivery. I was telling the medics on the ambulance that I have not felt the baby move this whole time. So I feel like something is definitely wrong. And I kept saying that I'm in pain. I'm just having a lot of pain. And he was just saying, like, you're in labor. That's what it's supposed to be. And I'm like, this is different. I've had 2 babies before this. This is completely different. So I went, I told the nurse in the room, like, my stomach is hurting. I think I'm in labor. And I haven't felt my baby move this whole time. Immediately when I walked onto the bed, or laid on the bed, I just felt horrible. Like, I was in excruciating pain. And it wasn't like coming and going. It was just there. And she was trying to, get the baby's heartbeat. She couldn't find it. The doctors came in the room. They used the ultrasound, and they were like, yes, he still has a heartbeat. Then they said, like, it's at 40 beats per minute. Let's hurry up and get her in the operating room, like, right now. At this time, Aaron was not yet there. He was still on his way to the hospital. And they just told me, look, everything's about to be moving really fast. We got to put you to sleep, and we got to get this baby out. I had a nurse with me that was next to me the whole entire time, just there holding my hand. Before they started the operation, the doctor and the anesthesiologist were going back and forth. The doctor was just like, put her to sleep, and they were like, we can't yet, her vitals are not stable. And I'm just laying there like what is going on? I was screaming, like, oh my goodness, this is so painful. Like, it's the worst pain I've ever felt in my life, like physical pain. The doctor just said he can't wait any longer. So he felt for the baby's head, you know how they do that before they cut. And I started screaming, like, oh my gosh. And he did it 3 times before I actually went to sleep. Before they put me to sleep. And that right there was, like, so traumatic. I got PTSD from this whole experience, but from that, like, when I have flashbacks, that's what it goes to, that moment. When I woke up, I was back in the room, and Aaron was right there next to me. He was sniffling and crying, and all the nurses was crying, and it was just this eerie sense of, like, why is everybody sad? Why is, and I don't know, my spirit just was like, where's my baby? That was the first thing that I said when I woke up. Nobody answered me, and I was like, where's Isaiah at? And Aaron was like, he didn't make it. He died. And I was like, I just remember saying, like, my baby died? Like, what do you mean he died? How did he die? What do you mean? How does that happen? And I was just in shock. I was so bruised up in my, from the C-section. I was so bruised up, and I actually almost lost my life. My blood wouldn't clot. I bled out. I had to get blood transfusions, 5 different times. Yeah, it was crazy. I was on a lot of medication that made me loopy. I called everybody that I could and told them to come to the hospital because we just lost our baby. So our friends and family came to the hospital. We had our pastor there. He prayed. That was that. I was in the hospital for about a week, and we got to keep Isaiah with us whenever we wanted. They have these cold cots that keeps the baby cold pretty much to slow down the process that has to happen. When I had to go home empty-handed, that was, I went home to all the stuff that I had set up for the baby's arrival. All I had was a box and some pictures of my baby boy. That was hard. I had to plan his funeral, and we had to raise enough money to plan his funeral and to have the service. I wanted to bury him. I didn't want to cremate him. And for personal reasons, I just really wanted to bury him. He was so beautiful, guys. He had black hair. He was my complexion. He had blue eyes. Like he was so beautiful. So we had his funeral on December 17th of 2020. So now I'm going to tell you guys how I got through that. My first encounter with God was in the hospital. I just felt his overwhelming presence of love and peace, and I don't know how else to explain it, but I remember praying to God, like, please just let my baby wake up. This will be the greatest miracle ever. I will be able to tell people about this miracle and let people know and show people that you are real, God. Just do this for us. Just wake him up and let this all just be in the past. Like, just wake him up and let him be healthy, and it could be one of those miracles that you hear about on TV. And he never woke up. I said, okay, and if you're not going to do that, just please give me peace on this moment, because I don't feel like like, how am I supposed to live? I don't even want to breathe anymore. Like, I can't, I just can't, I can't get through this. I don't want to get through this. I don't want to move on. In that moment of me praying with God, I can't explain it, but it was like a peace that came over me. The whole year of 2021, I don't remember that whole entire year. I don't even remember, like, my kids look like. The only thing that I do remember is doing Kalani's birthday party. We had her birthday party on January 8th, and I did, like, some pictures for her turning 3 with, like, this really pretty dress that I had when I was a kid. Yeah, that's the only thing I remember. And I do remember my birthday. I was on a lot of medications that year. I was on a lot of depression medicine, anxiety medicine, sleeping medicine. What was the name of that? I would be knocked out anywhere. Like, I take it, and 2 seconds later, I'm like sleep on the floor. My memory is just so blurred from that year. And that's the year we went on vacations and everything. Like, I was trying to block out my pain by doing a lot of stuff instead of just sitting in my sadness and facing the facts and actually truly healing. That brings us to 2022. We got our rainbow baby, and his name is Kenzo. He also came early, and he's healthy. He's turning 2 in February. For me, I was upset with God that this happened, but I was more upset with God that it had to happen like this. And I know that God has control and he can alter things, you know what I'm saying? Like, God has the final say. So I'm like, if you got the final say, then why you couldn't just come in agreement with me? I was so upset to the point where I wasn't going to, like, yell at God and say, oh, I'm mad at you, and all, I knew that I know God is real, and I still trusted and believed in God, and I still love God, and I just didn't want to say anything that I would regret. So what I did was I just stopped praying. I stopped reading my Bible, and I was like, okay, well, if I can't have what I want, then I'm just going to be quiet. It's been really hard. It was a struggle. It's been a struggle. Fast forward to the end of 22, beginning of 2023, I started looking for answers. So, people say, oh, God won't put more on you than you can bear. And I used to get so mad when people said that to me, because I'm like, that is not scripture. God does not say that. And if God won't put more on me than I can bear, why would he put this on me? Because I can't bear this weight. I can't do this. After digging in and searching for answers and truth, I realized that God never said that. That's not scripture. And God does guarantee that you will go through suffering and you will go through pain, but he does not guarantee a perfect life. It's not my weight to bear. And it's not my weight to bear alone either. I do have God. It's not for me to bear. I got to leave it at the altar, and I just have to keep going. I used to look up, scriptures about babies, and I know that Isaiah is in heaven. So the reason why I'm sharing this testimony with you guys is because I wanted to give you guys some encouragement especially the women out there, because we can go through so much and still have to be strong. We have to be the strong one. And it's through Christ that gives me strength. Like, I can't, you have to find that for yourself. Like, I can't find that for you, but I can share with you my testimony in hopes that that will encourage you to seek God. Like, I'm telling you, that is the only thing that got me through it. I do like to give the Lord gratitude for allowing me to even be Isaiah's mom. As of today, I am doing much better. I came a long way, guys. I came a long way. And I'm not saying that I don't have hard days, because I do. December, for me, is very, very hard to get through. You know, I finally found a doctor that listens to me and understands a little bit of what I'm going through. So I'm on the right medications now. And also, I am about to start therapy, counseling. My doctor recommended me to do that. So, you know, I'm like, okay, let's do that. Even if the answer is no, still trust in God. You know, we always say, oh, I'm blessed when we get, you know, a promotion or a house or a car. But for me to be blessed, it's like my kids are healthy, my husband is healthy, I'm healthy. My struggle right now is praying for myself. I pray for everybody around me, because I have a fear that something is going to happen to someone around me and I'm not going to be able to handle that. And I'm trying to get in the mindset of I matter as well. I matter. Yeah, so also, guys, I wanted to share my testimony with you guys, because I'm here. I made it through the hardest thing that I've ever been through in my entire life, and I'm thankful. Like, I am so grateful that God kept me here. Like, I'm still here. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm well. And trust me, when I lost my baby, the world kept going on, and for me, it stood still for a minute. And I'm like, how is everybody still living normal lives and I'm a wreck? So I felt really alone for a long time. God continued to give me peace through all of that. That does conclude this video. I love you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned.